People use various coping mechanisms when they face with challenges. This is because we all face challenges, and at that time we feel so low down, and at that time it's the low level of emotions such as anger, frustration, sadness, those kind of things come up. Even before we start knowing about them, they can trigger a response because unconsciously there are certain ways the subconscious mind had already seen how we face these challenges in the past, similar levels of emotions, and then it'll automatically trigger a reaction. And if we are not very conscious, those will go down as our coping mechanisms. That's where like people tend to pick up a lot of other unnecessary habits as coping mechanisms, and they might go in without realizing this is what is happening. Now my purpose here is to explain to you, if you have good habits, if you have cultivated some good processes over time, those processes will help you in those kind of challenging times. As an example, we have talked about this in the past. If you wake up early morning and then try to do some meditation every day, and if you try to do journaling or reading as an example, those things, especially if you start with meditation, which is a reflective process every day, when these kind of challenges come, you may not get pulled into adapt to different coping mechanisms. In the absence of those kind of good habits, because we might get very busy, and in those circumstances we might drop out those habits, and in the absence of those useful habits that we would have had before in the past, we might again pick up some other things as coping mechanisms. We might go and start playing computer games, we might start getting involved in the social media, and those kind of various things are there today for people to get involved and use them as coping mechanisms. But you don't, what I'm trying to say is, you don't need any of that if you have been practicing these useful things where your internal state of mind is going to improve as a result of these practices. If you have been practicing doing meditations every single day, you're not going to switch to something else because you have an internal state of reflection where you will be able to see what's happening. If you have been practicing gratitude every day, you don't need to see these as challenges. You might switch automatically and start thinking, let me see what is working here. These are all important for you to stay in a clear state of consciousness, clear state of mind when you face challenges. So what I'm suggesting to you today is, wherever you are facing challenges, don't focus on the challenges because you won't be able to find solutions only from those challenges and just going and fighting with them. Instead, start cultivating something that is useful to you, and start with meditation in the morning if you can. Just even 5 minutes, if you can focus on your breath, focus on it and then start doing that one. If you can write down 3 steps or 3 single things that you can be grateful for today, what you have, it'll generate some joy and happiness to you. Yes, you may see this as a very tiny step, but this will help you rather than switching to some unknown things, some unuseful things. Instead, very useful practices to yourself to deal with these challenging circumstances. Think about it and try to take a step today. Have a wonderful and inspiring time.